Come on, somebody! We are back. Caleb and I are back in the studio, everyone. Welcome to the studio. If you guys are looking at us, we both have microphones in front of us. If you're listening to us, you can probably hear it better because we have finally leveled up, y'all. We have received some donations. Just kidding. We bought these microphones, so we decided to finally invest in these to help the people out. We are so thankful to be back, though. I'm Caldwell. He's Caleb. How are you doing over there, brother?
It's been a long time. And by a long time, only 2 weeks, but it feels like a long time.
Caleb, update everyone. What's been going on in the life of Caleb and Caldwell?
Yeah, well, let's see. Our last episode was with Matt, right? That was the most recent one. Wow. Yeah, so we've just been personally each enjoying sports immensely. Sports being back. Unfortunately, AJ's Cardinals have played only 5 games this season.
I'm watching baseball right now. My team hasn't played in like years.
If you knew halfway through August the Cardinals would have 2 wins.
Yeah, and 3 losses and only played 5 games.
But yeah, so a couple changes. We took a week off. We're just trying to figure some things out. One thing, we're not going to be doing sports and scripture from now on, just for the time being anyways. And we kind of made a post about that on social media, so you can check that out if you want to see a little more of the thinking behind that. But we're still a Christian podcast, of course, and we want to glorify the Lord through it. But we're going to be talking basically strictly sports, I think.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It'll be fun to kind of interweave the Christian worldview into different topics depending on what comes up. But yeah, we've just been in prayer a lot, just thinking through what's best moving forward, and we're excited to just kind of make this a sports podcast, a clean sports podcast, as opposed to some podcasts you might hear from people. Yeah, so it's an exciting time in Caleb and Caldwell. Another new thing we'll be doing with the YouTube channel is we're not going to be posting the full podcast. So we'll just be posting highlights of it. So it'll be like 5-10 minute videos rather than a whole hour-and-a-half video. I know you guys wouldn't want to watch that because I don't want to commit that much time to it either. So hopefully that'll make it a little bit more fun and interesting for you guys to watch. So stay tuned for that as well. But Caleb, today it's back to the normal schedule. You know, we're back at it again. We're back to our personal segments. We're back to hot takes, and we're back to top 5. We need to talk about the top 5 NFL players in 2020 because y'all messed up. Everybody messed up. And
y'all meaning NFL.
Yeah, y'all mean NFL. Whoever it was, the kindergartners or the first graders that apparently they had choose the top 100 players. We will talk about that in just a little bit. Caleb, what do we got coming up with the rest of the podcast?
Yeah, so starting with top 5, then we're doing our personal segments. So AJ's going to take his, and I'm going to do the Beyond the Numbers again. And then we're closing it out on Double Dippin. And so it's going to be maybe a little bit shorter. Who knows? Maybe we'll go crazy, and maybe you're laughing because as you hit this podcast, you saw an hour 40 minutes, and I'm saying a little bit shorter.
Or 3 hours.
But, you know, we'll see.
But, brother, it is good to be back with you. It's good to have the new setup, the new set. And so welcome in, guys. It's time to talk all things sports from a Christ-centered, Bible-saturated perspective. Let's roll.
Recently, the NFL did a thing, and that thing was releasing a list of the top 100 NFL players. And I think
Garbage.
Yeah, I've heard a few things here and there, but I think my buddy AJ has a few thoughts.
Absolute garbage. Y'all, this list, I did a video, and it's probably going to come out on our YouTube channel at some point, of me reacting. It's our new Caldwell's Thoughts series where I just go rant on some different stuff. Y'all, I think they chose preschoolers for this list. I'm not joking. I think that they went to a school, they put names in a hat, and they said, hey, kids, here's your new activity for the day. Write down a random name, write down your favorite NFL player, and put it in a hat. And we're going to use that as our top 100 list because that's what it was equivalent to.
Number 2.
Oh, gosh. I was like, why is this a dramatic pause in between my... Stop.
Pat Mahomes.
Stop, dude. You're nuts. That doesn't make any sense. I'm trying to think who your number 1 is now. Because that doesn't make any sense.
I don't have to say a lot about Patrick Mahomes. If you've seen him play, you know this dude's the real deal. Straight off a Super Bowl victory. He's got the arm. He's got the leg talent.
Shouldn't he be number one? Like, if you're going to put him that high, why don't you put him number one? Waymire?
That doesn't make sense. That reasoning does not make sense. If he's the number 2 player, he's going into the 2020 season. The number 1 player is exactly that. My number 1 player is the number 1 player going into the 2020 season. I'll let you know what it is. I'm gonna let you know. Well, I know. Let you talk about Mahomes because he's your boy and he's your number 1. What else do we
need to say about this? Do I seriously got to keep convincing people this guy's already one of the best quarterbacks of all time? Do I seriously need to keep convincing people this? And I watched it live. That's one of the best parts about this whole story, obviously, because that's the name of the segment, is that I get to watch it live. Sitting there with my dad, with my brother. My brother was in tears. I mean, that's how bad it was that Klay Thompson did. Klay Thompson did him dirty, did him and the Thunder dirty. He came in there and he said, I got a suitcase and I'm not leaving without putting a W in it. Like, this guy went off. This guy was unreal.
So another statistics I've used before is called ISO or ISO, and it's kind of isolated power it stands for. And so that's your slugging percentage minus your batting average. So what's kind of interesting about that is it shows just, maybe a guy hits only 200, but he slugs all home runs, then he's going to have a higher slugging percentage, but maybe there's another guy that hits 300 but doesn't hit as many home runs, but because his batting average is so high, he's going to have a higher slugging percentage. ISO will determine, like, just if you isolate their hits, like a guy like Joey Gallo, I didn't look it up, but I'm sure he's got like a wicked ISO because the dude doesn't, like, he hits as many home runs as he does singles. So it kind of evens that out. I have some family that listens in. Shout out to them.
Oh, I like where this is going.
That are Dodger fans. And and so I said I was going to try and not rag on the Dodgers, but I have something to say today.
Let loose.
And that is that if you were paying attention last season to the NL West, you may have known that something went around a little bit, something Manny Machado said, and I'm going to back him up right now and say it was off the cuff to a fan, but I'm saying right now the Padres are going to win a World Series before the Dodgers do.
Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Come on! I'm here to tell you, this is why it plays out perfectly. I am here to tell you that Cam Newton and the Patriots are going to go into Baltimore and beat the Baltimore Ravens. They're beating them in an AFC divisional game. Cam Newton is going to find some sort of magic somewhere, some down deep somewhere. That was a lot of somewheres. Cam Newton is going to find it. And he's going to find some kind of magic, and they're going to beat the Ravens. They are. I think he's still that guy. Having Belichick with him is going to be great. I can't even believe these words are coming out of my mouth. But they're going to beat the Ravens. And it's mainly also because Lamar Jackson, his inexperience in the playoffs is like a sore wound.